Lou, you wanted to talk about why trees lose their leaves in autumn.
Yes, well, we've just witnessed the most fabulous display. Yes, it has been spectacular. The yellows, the claret ash, the maples, all orange and red.
It's been a great year
Highlands
this year.
is famous for this, and people come from far and wide to see our deciduous trees. And you might wonder why they turn that colour. Why are they not green? Why do they stop being green? And of course, it's all to do with that famous thing, photosynthesis. So you need three things for photosynthesis. You've got to have sunlight to get energy onto your leaf. You've got to have water coming up from your roots, and you've got to have carbon dioxide in your air. This is the pudding that makes for energy, glucoses, which then allow the tree to grow. And they need a factory, and in the leaves is the factory. That's the chloroplasts. And the chloroplasts have chlorophyll, which is a green pigment. So during the long days of sunlight, when there's lots of water around, the air fortunately is always with us, they can grow enormously by simply manufacturing glucose with these three ingredients for their pudding to grow. And come autumn, the sunlight starts to diminish somewhat because we're getting shorter days. And that sort of is a signal to the chloroplasts to go, is it really worth it? They do a calculation. Is it really worth it? All the energy, because it takes energy, of course, to run the factory. And at some stage, these particular beautiful, beautiful trees decide it's not worth it. And they decide to stop manufacturing chlorophyll. But there are other pigments in the leaves. And these pigments are the red ones, the orange ones, the purple ones. And they are always masked by the green, during the growing time.
Right.
And that is what we are seeing. We're seeing all those pigments basically
Sort of
putting
being
on
exposed.
a brilliant display because the green has gone away.
Oh, right.
And then the next thing is they think, well, is it really worth doing
Even
greens
hanging
and
on to
oranges
these.
and so on and so forth? And where the leaves start to join the branches, the cells start to line up and block water coming up from the trunk. So without water and not much sunlight, they just can't function, so the leaves drop.
Oh, right. Harikiri. Harikiri.
Harikiri. Yes, yes, I suppose so. And that's how it works for the big exotics that we have here, the ashes, the poplars,
Right.
the oaks. But of course, not all leaves are like that. We also have a lot of conifers here. We have cypresses and cedars and pines, and they don't lose their leaves. So you might wonder, well, how come they don't lose their leaves?
And our own native trees.
I'm coming to that.
Okay, I'll shut up.
And so with them, the leaves are different. They're tougher, they're often cylindrical, they have a waxy coating all around them. So they're actually able to store water, so they can make it through. There might be a bit less sunlight, but they're still getting water into their leaves. So that is, they can keep going through the winter. And then you have the natives. And they, of course, most of them are green all through the year. And we do have some that look very like the conifers, like the she oaks look like that, and the native pines, Calatrus, I think that's the species of Calatrus. But look at the gum leaves. The gum trees do not lose their leaves. And the reason they don't is evolution has been different here in Australia from Europe and North America, where the maples and the poplars and the oaks all came from. They have a less predictable season here in Australia. And it's always a good idea to keep your door open in case you do get a bit of custom, like water, like sunlight, like CO2. So they don't lose their leaves. They keep their options open all year long because you never know if it's going to be suddenly you're going to have a really hot, warm spell with lots of sunlight. Yeah. So that's
Right.
it. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Good rundown. I just wanted to say one thing about the world and photosynthesis. I want to get
Give us your one
philosophical
thing
now.
about the world.
I want to get very philosophical. I think you will find that it is not money that makes the world go around.
Oh, okay. Tell me about that.
It is photosynthesis.
Oh, what's your argument on that one?
Well, if you didn't have photosynthesis, you wouldn't have plants. And if you didn't have plants, you wouldn't have animals. And if you didn't have animals, you wouldn't have... Would you?
Good point.
So the world is not all about money. It's all about photosynthesis.
Okay, got that.
That's my message.